Hello, and in this video we're going to take a quick look at walls. So within Revit we can start the wall command by going to the Architecture tab on the ribbon bar and to the wall command. Okay. Once we start the wall command, there's a number of options we need to look at. Looking on the ribbon bar still, noting that Revit's automatically taken us to the Modify tab, we have our draw tools here, such as where we want to draw a straight length of wall, a rectangular chain of walls, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to leave that on as line. We have the options bar below where we can tweak some of the settings, and some of these settings do repeat in the properties window here, such as whether you want to have your location line based on the exterior face of the wall, the centre of the wall, or the interior face of the wall. Okay. For this one, we're just going to have a look at the properties window. I'm going to make sure that the base of the wall is set to the ground floor. I can put a negative offset in there if I wish, and I'm going to make sure that the top constraint of the wall is the level above. So it's just going to go between the ground floor and the first floor with a minus 200mm offset on the base. Now we can choose what type of wall we're drawing. Depending on the template that you've used to start your project, this list may differ to mine. Okay. Now we're actually going to create a custom wall type, so we're not going to use one of these that are here. We're going to make our own wall type. For that, I'm just going to find a very basic wall type to base as on, because the way we do this in Revit is we duplicate an existing wall type and then customize the build-up of it. With a basic wall selected, I'm going to go to Edit Type to look at the type properties of that wall, and I'm going to duplicate the existing wall type, and I'm just going to call that my new wall type. Okay, so we now have a new type of wall in Revit called my new wall type, and it is identical to the wall that we duplicated, so we need to customize it a little bit. I'm going to modify the structure of this wall, so in the type properties where we have structure, I'm going to click on the edit button. Okay, this will take us to the edit assembly window where we can customize the structure. And first of all, before I start tweaking the settings, I'm going to expand this preview panel on the left hand side. As we customize this wall, we can see a preview of that on the left hand side, both for floor plans and in a section view of the wall. Okay. The wall that we've duplicated just has a simple single layer to it, which is structural concrete masonry units. And we're going to add an additional 2 layers to this, and then we're going to tweak materials that are involved in the thicknesses and so on. Now looking at this table, the layer that's at the top is going to be on the exterior face, and the layer at the bottom is going to be on the interior face. I'm going to click the insert button, let's do it 3 times. Okay, that's going to give us 4 layers. So I'm going to have a render finish on the outside. I might have brick underneath. I might then have a concrete block structural layer, and then I might have a plaster layer on the interior face of the wall. So we need to rearrange these layers. So using the up and down button below, I can rearrange these, and I'm just going to set them out like that. Okay, if you're wondering what these core boundaries are, there's an interior and an exterior core boundary, and that kind of determines how far into a wall other elements are going to extend. For example, if you have a concrete floor slab inside the building, it will cut through all the layers to reach the core boundary. Okay, it's not going to extend further than that core boundary, so it's not going to cut all the way through to the exterior side of the building. Okay, so that's kind of what that does there. We're going to customize these layers now. So the first thing we need to look at is the function, and the key here is kind of the number involved. That's the priority of that layer. And when it comes to join conditions and elements cutting, this is where this will become important. Something with number 1 is the highest priority, so a structural layer, for example, and your plaster, for example, might be a finish 1 or a finish 2. Okay, I'm going to stick that as finish 2. This one, let's have a look. Maybe we'll go with finish 2, finish 1 again. Structure we'll leave in the centre there, and then maybe a finish 2 on the interior side there. Next we need to set the materials. So as mentioned, this is going to be some sort of render. So clicking in the material box and then the little button that appears, we'll get the material browser. And if I just do a search for render, we'll see what's in here. Beige. Who doesn't like a beige render? Let's go with that. So that layer is going to be a beige render. Let's give that a 12mm thickness. The next layer, and you can see the preview updating on the left there now. The next layer I mentioned was going to be a brick. So let's do a quick search for brick, and brick common will do. And we'll set that at 102mm. The structure layer, we're going to go with concrete blocks. That's going to be 110. We could stick with the same materials as what was in here to start with. Let's just do a quick search for block and see if there's one preloaded in for concrete block. I will stick with a concrete masonry unit there. Okay, and then we'll have plaster on the interior face. There we go, some plaster. And we'll do that at 12.5mm. Okay, so we've got a new structure to this wall, and just bear in mind at this point, whilst you're playing with all these settings, none of this is saved until you've okayed this window and you've okayed the type property. So don't accidentally hit cancel or the X. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK to that window, OK to this window, and we now have our new wall type that we can draw in our model. And if I draw from left to right, you will get the exterior face on the top of the wall. Okay, so you want to be drawing in a clockwise direction if you want to get the exterior face on the exterior of your project. If you have happened to draw it the wrong way around, you can always flip the wall so that the inside goes outside and the outside goes inside, but you can use the space bar as well to do that. Okay, thank you for watching.